In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to attach VBA code to objects that are on a form, a data entry form that have been created using Microsoft Access form design tools. This is all associated with the fitness database system that's already been introduced to you. And as you can see here, this is a rather complex looking form that contains client details. You can see that my name's on here. We've got a subform underneath here called health profile details, and that includes a list of the total number of exercise or fitness sessions the users had, their BMI, and the calories that they've burnt total since they've started a particular exercise program. And then there is a activities completed subform underneath, and that just lists the separate activities that a user has done. Now if I was to click on to profile 1, you can see that there's 2 activities, standing and slow walking. If I click on to profile 2, that changes to 3 activities. You can see the calories burned there. There's a lot more there. If you add those numbers together, you get 4,828. So, okay, let's start attaching some code. To do that, I need to be in design view. So I'm going to right hand click here, go into design view with the form. And the first code that I want to attach is going to be attached to this button here, the update BMR button, which is your basal metabolic rate. Now in order to do that, what you must do is go over to here where it says property sheet. So click on property sheet. You will probably find that you're on the all tab. You need to go to event, and then because it's a button, we want the on click property. So I'm going to click the build button, and that's that looks like it's got 3 dots next to each other. So click on the build button, and then you go into the Visual Basic Environment. Now there's no code in between the sub and the end sub procedure here. So again, I'm going to quickly cheat. I'll whiz over to my document to pinch the code that goes in that subroutine. There we go. Copy into the Access Development area and paste that in. Okay, right. You'll see here that there's an error. If you see any code that's highlighted in red, there's something not quite right with it. There's too many brackets there, so I've just deleted a bracket. And I'm going to save that and close that down, and then that code is then associated with that button. Alright. Another place where we're going to be attaching some code is in the activities completed subform. I'm going to scroll down to find duration, the duration text box. I'm going to click on that. Now over in the property sheet window, instead of using on click this time, because you don't often click on a text box to want to do something, but the on enter or on exit event procedures are quite useful for text boxes. I'm selecting the on exit event procedure, so click there. I'm going to click on the build button again, and the code that's going to go into here is working out how many calories have been burnt by a particular exercise. So whip over to the code sheet and take the code for this particular macro, copy that back to the VBA development environment, paste that into here. Please do look at the sheets that explains how the code works and how it's associated and ties in with the whole database system whilst you're doing this activity. I'm going to save that because that's pasted in. Close that window down. And then one last one that I'd like to demonstrate to you is the Open Fitness Report one down here. So I'm going to click on that button, same routine, go to the event procedure. It is a button, so I'm going to go on click, build button, and then look at the documentation, find the code that's associated with creating the report, and copy that, paste that into here. Now in order for this particular button to work, you are going to have to create a report that shows the client details and the total fitness activities that they've undertaken. However, that line of code's in there now, so I'm going to save that, close that down. Make sure you save the form as well. There's a little top left icon for save in Access, so I'm going to save that as well. And then let's view it, let's see it working. So, if I was to change my weight, let's say that I'm 80 kilograms instead of 72, watch the BMR change as I click on this button. So that means that I'm allowed 2012 calories. That's what I'm burning whilst my body's at rest. Let's go down to duration here. Let's change that to 4 hours of activity instead of 2. Now as I click away, just watch what happens to the calories burned field here. If I click in there, it automatically updates. That's because the on exit procedure is working. Okay, so that's all fine. Last one to do with the coding on this tutorial is the Open Fitness report. If I click on this, I only want a report to open for the actual user that's being displayed. So if I click on here, the report that's opened is this one. It's the client fitness report. So I'm going to click on that button, and you can see that in the background it opens a report, and that's the kind of report that you want to be trying to design. Okay, let's close that report down. Let's just go to another user just to prove that it does select one for the right user. This user here, they haven't done anything, so I'm going to click on Open Fitness Report, look behind, and look, you can see there's nothing on that report. So it's actually filtering out the right user using that VBA code, which is incredibly useful. I'm also going to click on my little button down here that closes the form as well. Okay, so that ends this tutorial.